So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And so, today this card arrived, and this is one of the dead cards I was talking about in the last video that I have on my way. So, this is a Zotac GTX 480 amp. It is literally just a reference PCB with this VF3000 Zalman cooler on it, with Zalman replaced by Zotac. The way you can tell this is a Zalman cooler is just because it looks the same, and the fans have Zalman written on it if you look at them from the underside. But yeah, so this is one of the two cards that I've bought. This one for 15 euros, I think. And yeah, so it came, and I was expecting to, well, yeah, it's gonna have like artifacts again, like the typical stuff you see. Like I only buy these cards because I want to make e-powers out of them, like I did for the GTX 970, which is powered by a GTX 580 reference PCB, which the 480 does have basically the same VRM. So yeah, I only pick up cards that still display an image but artifact. So I know the VRMs all work. And the thing is, if they only artifact, you can usually just heat gun them and they start working again. Like out of 5 cards that I've heat gunned, I think 4 have started working again. So yeah, pretty good track record, I guess. And then there's this one. Like if you ask yourself why I always pick up more than one card at a time, like now too, actually there might be a third. That's like a an auction waiting to end, and I'm currently the highest bidder with 5 euros on another reference 580. So there might be a third card, and you might want to ask yourself, why do I always pick up 2 or 3 cards at a time? Well, because things like this keep happening. So this is actually in a very good condition. Like the PCB is clean, there's almost no dust on it, no physical damage visible. It even came in the original packaging, which I now have another box to display in my room. And yeah, so like I always test every card I get. So I plug this in, expect to see some artifacts and be like, yeah, I'm gonna heat gun this, maybe it starts working again. But that didn't happen. I plugged the card in and it just worked. Like it just worked. I did nothing to this, it's not broken, it's not dead, it's working. I got this for 15 euros. Like the seller said something like, yeah, it artifacts and crashes when you just install the driver, but like, it's been passing fires, it's overclocking. This is overclocking. Like, this thing is really good from what I can tell. Like, it does have Samsung 1GB eDI memory, which clocks exactly the same as my other 580, 480 I mean, which is the one from the modding livestream. Before I modded this one, this did 2100 mem, this does 2100 mem. Before I modded this did 925 core, this does 925 core. With more voltages, this one even does 930. So I'm like, I know this one is pretty good for how, like for 80s. And now I have a second card that does pretty much the same clocks. Like if I throw more cooling at this, I think this is gonna do like 940 or something. Like this does 945, 950, depending on how cool it is. Like 480s really seem to like cooling, they don't really scale with voltage. And then 580s scale with voltage more, from what I've seen. Like both of these didn't really care about more V-core. Also didn't care about more V-core caps, like these pretty much do nothing. So yeah, I think the only way to making these faster is just throw more cooling at the problem. Which, I mean, okay, this is on a Morpheus heatsink. This is the... I think this cools better than the Accelero. Like, if you put some decent fans over this, this is a really, really strong heatsink. And, well, this cooler is basically just another one of these aftermarket GPU coolers that just Zotac rebranded for themselves. And this is really good. Like, this cooler is straight up really, really good. Like, it is the same sort of thing that this Asus cooler is. The only difference is it's smaller, it's lighter, and for some reason this performs a lot better than this one. Like I've said before, that this heatsink, which is from the GTX 580 Direct CO2, this heatsink is very, very bad. It just doesn't perform. Like it is literally hotter than a reference card. Yeah, this heatsink is just bad, and it's really loud as well. This one is more silent, smaller, lighter, and does perform better. And like this is a 480. 480s consume more power than 580s. And they also run higher stock voltage. So this has more heat to deal with, and it's performing better. Like this is under 60 degrees in a stress test. And I'm just like, wow. Like I'm gonna keep using this heatsink. And the base plate that it comes with isn't that bad either. Like it cools memory, it cools the VRM. Like let's just take this thing off so I can show you. Yeah, like this heatsink is, damn it. The screws are kind of annoying to get off. So yeah. So, the sound it makes is not good. I really don't like that sound. Yeah, so and what I'm planning to do with this, now where this card is very much not dead, and also has, like if I mod memory on this, like I'm thinking of volt modding memory, I'm thinking of maybe cap modding memory. I don't think cap modding vCore on this will help. But, well, I could try volt modding it. I mean, this is at CHL8266. This is gonna work with NVVDD, which means I don't really have to volt mod it even. Can just use that. Though it has caused some instability issues. And yeah. So here's the base plate. Thermal paste spread looks pretty good, which is, well, this side is a bit meh, but I can respread that. And so yeah, this does have a pretty nice base plate, like it cools memory, and it also cools VRM. Like the VRM section could have been a bit bigger, I guess, and it also only screws in with 4 screws, like one here, one here, one here, and then one here. So I can't like cut this thing in half and only keep the VRM section, which is sadly a problem because I don't know, like my current GPU water block doesn't fit in this. I would have to remove the base plate. I don't know if the new one that's coming will fit. It might. Like it might fit, but it might not. So that could be an issue with this. But I'm optimistic that the new one will fit. And then I could run this on water. And then this would hopefully clock really good. But yeah, like this heatsink, like this weighs like half of this, and you can see like both of them have 5 heat pipes. This one has bigger heat pipes, and like this one has, both have 2 fans. This has smaller and weaker fans and more silent fans. But yeah, this is performing better. While this one is just, I don't know why it's so, like I literally don't know why it's so bad. But every time I test it, it's just literally worse than our blower heatsink. So yeah, I don't know what Asus did with that, but this heatsink is performing really well. And the good thing is it has different mounting holes. So this, if I'm not gonna use it on this card, I can use this on other cards as well, mainly AMD cards. So maybe this is finally gonna be the heatsink to use on my HD7950, because that's largely heatsinkless, and the one that I've been using is very not meant for that. So if I don't need this for the 480, I guess I'm gonna use this on my 7950. Or maybe, I don't think that will fit. Like, this also doesn't have a heatsink, but I think this will collide with this power thing. Yeah, it will. That's not gonna fit. Yeah, this thing is annoying. Well, I'm just gonna put it on water. You can see I put some heat sinks on that, like with the thermal tape. So I might run this in a couple days. But yeah. So back to the 480. I'm really impressed with this card. Like, I mean, it's a reference PCB, and of course, in typical Zotac fashion, they cheaped out on the MOSFETs again. This is using the exact same MOSFETs we had on the 580 Zotac. Which, like, yeah, this VRM is a straight up downgrade from reference as far as I know. Like, I can't get data sheets for those MOSFETs. I can only trust what people like tell me. And from what people have been telling me about these MOSFETs, which is the MDU 2654 and 2656, these are just bad. These are just straight up worse than what you get on a reference card. But the 580 with the same VRM did run 1.25 volts, so I guess this can run a 480 at 1.2, which is basically, if I go, I might try 1.25 if I go water on this, but it's handling the card at 1.2, especially with this heatsink. That this keeps the VRM cooler than the and this card, which I just have the base plate still on it. Like, I don't know if you can see, like that's just the base plate from the blower cooler on there. And when I touch the back, like when I touch the back part of the card here while it's running, this one is running cooler than the other card. So that's good, I guess. Yeah. So this is another one of those happy finds. Like, I mean, 15 bucks. Usually for dead cards, I mean, if it was dead, I would be more happy with it if it was like 10 bucks. 15 plus shipping is kind of pushing it. If you just want a dead card, but like since I was planning to turn all these into E-powers anyway, that's like pretty good price considering that pre-made E-powers, yes, while they are more powerful, do cost like several hundreds of euros. But yeah, from what I've seen, I'm not cutting this up unless it dies, that is. So yeah, this is working. Like, this card is just working. I've not deleted it yet, and actually I'm not really planning on doing it soon. I'm gonna delete it if I get the water block to fit. That's basically it. Right now with the air cooler, yeah, nah. Like, I mean, this, if I modify this should fit with without the IHS, but right now I actually don't wanna bother. Like, don't feel like it right now. But yeah, so like, the card works and it overclocks really well. Like, this is largely matching the other I keep saying 580, this is a 480. It has holes here, that's a 480, 580 doesn't have that. So yeah, it's largely matching the other 480, which is, as far as I know, a pretty good card. Like, really, really high. I don't know how good it is for memory, but as far as I know, the GPU clocks on that other one are really, really good. And if this ends up at the same clocks, if I mod it, like when I mod it, more like, I am gonna mod this someday, then I have two really, really good 480s. And you know what that means? I'm gonna run these SLI. I think I'm gonna need 2 power supplies for that, but that's actually, yeah, I can do that. I do have more than the 1 power supply in my test bench, so that's gonna work out. Just don't know about the cooling situation yet, though. Like, I could try having both of them on water, but I don't know yet. Like, both of them on water, that would be interesting, but I don't know if that's gonna work out. But I am running these two in SLI on the list. Like, that's gonna happen someday. And yeah. Like, let's see if the other card that I've showing up is gonna be anything like this. The other card is a GTX 580 Twin Frozer. It's a reference PCB with MSI's Twin Frozer cooler on it. And then the third card, that's still an ongoing thing. That's just straight up a reference card with a reference blower heatsink, but it is a blue PCB, so that's gonna be an interesting one. Then I have a green and a blue one. Though I've kind of changed my opinion on keeping these because of nice PCB colors. or like not like nice, but like odd PCB colors that you don't see every day, because I'm just like, yeah, this is taking away space and I really could use that e-power. Especially if other cards that I get for doing e-powers just keep on living. Like my theory as to why this works is the last couple days have been really, really cold. And when this came in today, like it came in and I immediately got it out of the box. This thing was ice cold. Like it must have been in the delivery van at 0 degrees or less. So it was really, really cold. So my theory is this card might have actually been dead. Like it might have been dead properly. But like this is not gonna fix BGA damage, but sometimes it's like there's also a connection between the die and the substrate, which is the little green PCB. Like here, that's a desoldered 580 core. There is a connection between this green PCB that the core sits on and the core itself. There's like there's not just a BGA here, there's a BGA between those two as well. And sometimes when that part is actually the damaged part, you can thermoshock them back to life. Like you can do it with a heat gun, but you can also cool it down a lot. And maybe it was just me, like having it come out of the box at like 0 degrees and then immediately turning it on, heating up the core. That might have been the thing that brought it back to life. Like this might have actually been dead and it was just thermoshocked back to life. So yeah. Yeah, as far as reliability goes, I don't know. Like, if this thing was dead, there is a chance it's gonna drop dead again. But so far, it's been running like very reliably. Like, past Firestrike stress test and like overclocking. The interesting thing is I can actually run core and memory overclock at max potential at the same time on this. Whereas on this card, if I run the core maxed, I can't max the memory and the other way around as well. So I can only max one of the things, and if I want to have both, I have to reduce them a bit. On this card, so far, like I've not pushed it to as high frequencies as the other one yet, but so far on this card, I've been able to run both core and memory maxed out at the same time. Which might be because that, like, this card has a much nicer heatsink for the memory as well. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know what I see the other card as. It has Samsung as well, and I think there should be only E-die for the 400 series, but I can't be sure until I look. And since that other card has thermal pads that just tear very easily, I really don't want to take it apart unless I really have a really good reason to do that, and looking at memory ICs is not a really good reason. So yeah. But like, this is a very interesting lucky find on eBay. Like 15 bucks for a not expected, but in the end working GTX 480 that has, from what I can tell, a really good core on it. And memory that I know will scale with cap and volt modding. And also has a really good heatsink that even if the card dies, I can use on other things. So this is a pretty huge win in my opinion. So yeah, video's getting to the typical 20 minutes again. So I guess I'm gonna say goodbye at this point. I also really don't have anything more to say. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm sure you're gonna see this card running soonish. Goodbye.